In the last video, there was a bit of a glitch, and I couldn't continue with what I was saying. So I'm going to present one more piece of information for you that is specifically, once again, and I've done this before, addressing the fundamentalist Christians within the United States. And all of you who are gathering around them, calling for the abolition of the government of the United States in the name of Jesus Christ. Now, before I get into this, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Before I get into this, I do want to point out the one thing I have noticed. You didn't want to overthrow the government during the era of Richard Nixon. You didn't want to overthrow the government during the era of Ronald Reagan. You didn't want to overthrow the government during the era of Bush Sr. You didn't want to overthrow the government during the era of Bush Jr. However, you had a lot in the way of condemnation of Jimmy Carter, who, by the way, was the only Bible-professing Christian in the office of the presidency in the last 53 years. And you wanted to overthrow the government through the militias, which included the Oklahoma City bombing under Bill Clinton. And now, heaven forbid, we have a president who just happens to have a better tan than yours. And once again, you're calling for the abolition of the U.S. government. Let us go back to the writings of the Apostle Paul, the one who basically laid the foundation for contemporary Christianity, the one who wrote the largest chunk of the New Testament. The passage comes from the letter to the Romans. It is chapter 13, 1 through 7.
Everyone must submit himself to the governing authority, Paul writes. For there is no authority except that which God has established, inclusively Jimmy Carter, Bill, and Barack Obama. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. I bet you're not hearing that from your pulpits this morning. And those who do so will bring judgment upon themselves, which of course is why so many on the right insist on the right to carry firearms. They know their right is wrong. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is right, and he will commend you. For he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid. For he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also because of conscience. This is also why you pay taxes, for the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing Give everyone what you owe him. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not my words. I did not pull this out of my mouth. These are the words of the Apostle Paul, who established Christianity approximately 2,000 years ago. And what he taught you then, you'd better be listening to now. So rather than scream how your taxes are so high and they are ungodly, park yourself into the letter that he wrote to the church in Rome and dwell on what your own teacher has taught you. I'll leave you with this before I go. As Paul said in Galatians, if anyone preaches a gospel other than his, let him be accursed. There are some translations that say, if anyone preaches a gospel other than his, let him go to hell. I second that motion. If your preachers are out there teaching you other than what's in this Bible, then they should go to hell. Thank you very much for your time. May your God go with you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.